Hey guys, welcome to Johnny's Speed Shop. This is going to be the first video on the channel. A couple buddies and my wife said I should probably start recording some stuff. Not necessarily to, get views or nothing, but just to track the progress. So far what we have right here, this is a LM7 5.3. It's got a cam in it. It's just a BTR NSR Truck Cam. It's like a little mild setup. On the sides for exhaust, we have ISR headers, and they are made for an S13 LS Swap kit. Alternator and its bracket are from ICT. You can see the logo down there. All I'm running on this is the alternator because in the future I plan on doing a Volvo electric power steering swap. I know a lot of guys have been doing that. It's getting pretty common nowadays. And then plus it just kind of alleviates a whole bunch of accessories being on this motor. For cooling, we have a Megan Racing Radiator. This is for a KA, which is sitting back there looking like a fucking boat anchor. But I got one for a KA. You can also do one for an SR, and I think oh no, this one's for an SR because the hose is over here, or I might have it backwards, whatever. But you can also get the radiators that have that top hose over here, so it could be like a little easier route for this. This is a LS1 water pump. I do not run spacers on this guy. The pulleys seem to align pretty well with everything, so it should jive pretty all right. For fans, we have Mishimoto. It's a dual fan setup, and you got your two wires here, and then I also bought some cheap fan relays, which will get wired in here soon, along with everything else. And they also come, I think, with 20 amp fuses on them. Super cheap stuff, super easy, and all you need to give these is a ground trigger, which the ECU does, but we'll get into that in a second. On the bottom here, we have an ISR front sump pan, and it fits pretty damn tight. It was a pain in the ass to get the motor in here, but it is all working. So this is a truck motor, but I do have an LS1 intake on it. I know the truck intakes flow a little better, but I didn't have that when I bought this motor. It wasn't with it, so this is the next best thing. We do have two rails that are AN. The back is looped. I've seen people do it either way, where the back has the two lines split off to a T, or the front. I figured the front would be a little bit easier for me in this case because the back is super crowded. You don't have, hardly any space back here. So I just decided to loop the back and then have my pressure side on the front. This is a cheap fuel pressure regulator, but I've seen a couple guys use these and they seem to hold up pretty well. It's made by PQI. And it's the whole fuel system is going to be 6 AN. I do have my hard lines right here that use those compression fittings to an AN line, but I'm going to be moving those back because I have to add a pre-injector filter, and this one's, I think it filters down to 10 micron. This one's made by Evil Energy, but I've seen guys use these too and it seems to work well. That's also what all my AN lines and fittings are. I try to keep them all the same brand. What else do we got here? Clutch master cylinder. This is a Willwood 3/4. I think stock you come with a 5/8, but to get that better pedal feel with the CD trans that's in this, it just helps it out a little bit better. Up top, we got a 92mm throttle body. This is a cheap Amazon one, and it came with both the sensors. We'll see how it runs. I mean, it's driven by wire. It's kind of hard to fuck up. And if these sensors go bad, super cheap and easy to replace. I do still have to mount a intake air temp sensor, and this is the grommet style. I know there's a couple different ones that come for LS's, but this is what came with the ECU. So once we get some piping and a filter, we'll get that all set. I'm thinking about going a 90 out and then like a 45 down into this little spot, but I'll probably have to remove this battery tray, which I think it's just a couple spot welds, so this shouldn't be too bad. For mounts, we are just running some eBay specials. I don't know if you can see back in there, but these are super cheap mounts. I think it was 50 bucks for driver, passenger, and the transmission mount. This was made for a T56, but it seemed to work pretty all right on the CD, so I'm not complaining about that. I guess we'll go inside first. So, got LRB speed door panels. I don't have the original door cards in this, which sucks, because I would have just wrapped those. I got rid of this interior a long time ago, like when I first bought this car, because I thought, you know, drift car life would be fun, but it's not when you're not actually sliding it. This is the, I think it's 7.5-inch Pro Dash from Ace's EFI. So that's what we're using up here. I might add some gauges on either side, but it does have fuel level, mile an hour, RPM, all that. So I doubt I'll need any of that stuff. If I want to add anything later, I might just do a gauge pillar right here. I do have the trim for all this. It is just sitting right behind me in the pile of mess. There's also a cluster back there. But steering wheel, we have an energy hub. It's a short hub. I had the regular hub and a regular quick release, and the steering wheel sat out like 6 more inches. It was hitting your knees. So I got the short hub, short quick release, and this is a Volante wheel that was previously gold and white, but I got rid of the gold, painted it, and it's a little, you know, custom. This is the GK Tech shifter. So you do have to cut out a little notch in the trans tunnel, but I had to cut the actual shifter itself. When they send it to you, it sits about, well, you can feel it right here, but it sits about right here, and if you were going through any gear, you wouldn't be able to have your full trim and interior on it. So I cut that. I'll throw a little picture up, but I cut it into like I cut it in half basically, and then added 2 pieces of like 1.25" like steel stock, I guess. Moved it out a little bit so it was a little bit centered, but it works fine. You could hit every gear and reverse without taking your trim up, so super happy about that. And then there's just a basic little doubled in Apple CarPlay radio that needs wired. Little 3D printed cup holder that needs some love. That's basically it on the interior for now. Besides, the rear seats are deleted, and I made this little delete plate kind of deal out of 3/4-inch plywood and then wrapped it in some fake Alcantara. Same with the little back plate that sits right there. And then also there is a flat plate back there. And then the corner over here does hinge up so I can access the fuel pump. So we'll get underneath the car. Here you can see those 2 ISR headers. This is a CD01. I know they're not the strongest, but so what happens when you're working on a budget, that kit that adapts them is from Fabbot Fab. They make a super nice kit that comes with a slave, clutch, flywheel, you know, pretty much everything, and I got that for like 900 bucks. You can see how low these headers sit. They sit pretty high. I think they're not the lowest part on this car. You can kind of, yeah, they might be the lowest, but it doesn't sit much lower than the frame rail, which is nice. And you can see that nice eBay bracket back here. These bolts I will swap out. They're just in there temporarily to get mounted and have this thing sitting up. I'm still waiting on a drive shaft for this. The diff is welded, so I don't have to do anything with that. I'm probably going to keep that or change oil on it, and then once I get some subframe bushings, I'll end up swapping all those out and taking everything apart, going through it. But I think that's it for down here. That's pretty much a little nice overview of the entire car. I was working on making some, oh, must have fell down. Yep. some little engine grounds for this. So this one will go on this side, and then I'll also add another one on the driver's side. Oh yeah, so the ECU that I'm running is from Ace's EFI. This is their Jackpot system. And then when I bought it, they were running a special that came with this 7.5 inch Pro Dash. Here, let me go grab a flashlight so you can actually see this. Oh, Jesus. So I had all my wiring come through that grommet that's on the top. I have the ECU sitting right behind where the radio sits. It's just Velcroed down. It's a, pretty decent spot. It does come with a CAN cable for tuning it, and I just have all that tucked right behind the radio. But this was super easy to get going, super easy to install. Everything is pretty much labeled on this harness. So I just got to do a little bit more wiring here. And it does come with a plug. So this is all your additional wires. Obviously you got like your fan triggers for these relays, some additional power outputs, step retards, fan, some more fan stuff. This is another big one too, fuel level. So this dash does come with a whole bunch of nice features, and then there's also some programmable, they call them waste wires, but you can program those to whatever you like. But yeah, everything is super plug and play. It even came with 2 OBD2 sensors, or I think, no, it came with 2 widebands, my bad. So there's 2 wideband plugs that came in here. I just have those sitting in my little shelf right over here. Somewhere's in here. But yeah. Next thing that we're going to be working on is getting this oil filter relocation kit mounted. This is from Earls. There's your part number right there. I think they use an HP4 or equivalent filter. This is just what the Autoports store had. 510 60XP. It's made by Wix. People online said that they're pretty decent filters. I mean, I think this size is a little bit overkill for an LS, but this is my first time swapping one, being around one, so what do I know? We got a 90 right here. This will be for this import. Am I doing this right? Yeah. So, oh my God, little fucking O-ring that's in there. Just want you to thread on though. So, come on, fucker. All right, O-ring is coming out, which I don't think you really need. Hold on, these AM lines. Are these bigger than? Are these 9s or 8s? No way. They're 8s. Fuck. You can kind of tell the difference. Here's a little comparison. So this right here is a 6, and on there you have your 8, which is on here, and then also you have your 10, which is a little bit bigger. I don't know how I got 8s when I don't even have anything that's an 8 size. God damn. that. So we're just gonna go ahead and pop these guys off. Which they're on there pretty fucking tight. There we go. One off. Two off. So, god damn, still tight. Go ahead and pop these guys off. Sorry if my head's blocking the way, I can't really see. Pop those guys off, look at the 10s. Make sure they're 10s this time. So those are 8s. These are my 10s. But now that I'm thinking, if we mount it in there like that, if I want to get some more space, I might use obviously the one out hole. And I might switch this inlet, out to the other side. And then there is a way you can run this so you can have an oil cooler on the front. I'm not doing that in this particular case, but later on the road, depending on how the oil temps are, I may or may not add one. It shouldn't be, you know, too incredibly hard. Go ahead and get these all nice little tightened down. Yep, that's good. And that's good. And this guy will also get a little tighten. There she goes. So that's those guys. So I was thinking about maybe we could just do a straight up from there now. Just grabbing you. Grabbing one of these and maybe just a straight up. Something like that. So I'm kind of thinking this guy will sit like right here. Not too crazy. Have an angle. Maybe drop her down a touch. Something like right there. I might fiddle around with this little setup. So I just kind of half-assed installed this Street Faction bash bar. I put the oil filter right here, and then I also tried it on the other side, and I just hate both of those spots. Kind of running out of engine room up here for like things to go. So I might have to figure something else out on this guy. I kind of want to mount it over here, but now seeing how big these AN lines are, even with the 90 on top, it still sits pretty tall. And then along with the filter, it still sits, you know, quite a ways up. So we'll just toss this guy on real quick, just for some quick looks. But I think mounting it up here is a no-go. Pretty much anywhere. I guess I could go right here, but then I'd have to move this fuse box, and that sounds like a pain in the ass. I don't want to do that again. Moving the one that was sitting right here that's now in the back of the car, that one was a big pain in the ass as it was. But yeah, this is the next challenge. After that, we'll do the rest of the fuel lines. We'll get it hooked up from the regulator back, and then we're also going to delete these hard lines that are just bent up right now, that have these hard line to compression, or hard line to AN through compression fittings. but I'll probably do that like halfway back there because we still have to mount our 10 micron fuel filter, pre-filter. But after we do that, then should be ready to rock. After that, we'll start finishing up some wiring. Yeah, I'll try to post more as we go with this car. It's kind of just a little, hey, check this thing out kind of video. Ask questions if you guys want. Getting the swap in itself was pretty painless, especially with that Fabbot LS to CD kit. That was super nice and easy. Same with this slave cylinder. This was just, like, the clutch system was completely easy. Like, it was mind-numbingly easy. But I guess we'll kind of just keep going with this car, see where we get. I'll try to do some stuff off camera and give another update when I can. Hopefully in the next video we'll be getting ready to start this thing. It's getting really close. Just a couple little minor wiring things, and then throw a battery in it and some fresh fuel. I still got to drain the tank out. There's really old gas in there that I don't want to run in this car. But yeah, we'll get it all figured out and see where we go. Thanks for watching. Hopefully in the next video we'll be a little bit better about speaking in front of a camera. This is all, you know, first time stuff, so super out of my element right here. But thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you guys in the next one.